your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
The rain is moving out. It was nice to see all of that rain, but it's also nice to not have the rain for most of the weekend. We'll take a look at that weekend forecast coming up.
And we are counting down to the Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade. The team is celebrating their Stanley Cup victory tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how public safety teams are planning to keep you safe.
And observing Juneteenth. There are several celebrations today in the Triangle. The national holiday marking the emancipation of enslaved people years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Good afternoon, everyone. We're so glad you're tuning in so we can get you ready for what's going to be a big weekend for Raleigh and the Triangle. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. Yes, you're seeing behind us right here the cloudy skies. You're wondering, okay, is it going to rain on our parade tomorrow? Not the case. Just things are moving out of our way right now. Amy, we know you've been tracking very closely to see how things are going to pan out for the rest of the day, but also for the Canes parade tomorrow.
Things are looking great for the parade, so that's the good news here. The also good news is that we had all that rain this morning. It was very widespread, and it was a very beneficial rain across the entire area. Now that rain has moved out to the North Carolina coast and things are quiet here locally. This is a look at some of our rainfall totals, over an inch, even close to 2 inches above that in some spots. So everyone really getting some beneficial rain with this system that rolled through. Out at the airport, we've had over an inch so far, and that was just really nice to see. Now, rain chances for the rest of the day, we're down to about a 20% chance. There is a weak disturbance that might bring a shower to our southern counties later this evening, but I think for the most part, we're done with the rain for the weekend. So for the rest of the day today, maybe you need to get the kids to the park, run out some of that energy, or get the dogs out for a walk. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s. And something to note later on today, that dew point is going to start to crash a bit, and that's going to feel pretty comfortable, especially later on this evening. Speaking of this evening, temperatures will be in the 80s through about 9 o'clock, back down into the upper 70s at 10 o'clock, mid 70s at 11 o'clock. So looking dry for the weekend. Saturday for the Canes parade, temperatures will be in the 80s. It'll be dry. We'll have a high temperature around 90. And then Sunday is a big day as well. It's Father's Day, partly cloudy, and it will be hotter on Sunday with temperatures back in the mid 90s. We do have some more rain chances in our 7-day forecast. We'll take a closer look at those next rain chances headed our way coming up.
All right, sounds good, Amy. We'll come back to you in a bit. All right, the Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade, it is tomorrow. We are talking tens of thousands of fans expected to be in Raleigh for this big celebration.
And if you're one of those people, you'll definitely want to familiarize yourself with the parade route for tomorrow's parade. It will go down Hillsborough Street, swinging by the state capitol, and then go down Fayetteville Street. The parade ends at Davie Street. And a fan rally will happen after the parade in City Plaza.
And the deal is Wake County EMS is already out downtown preparing to keep you safe in case things maybe turn a different way.
WRAL health reporter Grace Haba joins us live on Fayetteville Street with what resources you can find along the route, because medical emergencies can happen anywhere, anytime. Grace.
They most certainly can. And yeah, it is shaping up to be one of the biggest events downtown Raleigh has ever seen. And because of that, Wake County EMS tells me that well before we even knew the Canes were going to bring the Stanley Cup back here to Carolina, they have been planning for tomorrow's event. They tell me that they have been working with the city and other partners for weeks on ways to keep the public safe Saturday. One of their biggest priorities is making sure the event does not impact emergency response elsewhere in Wake County. Now, EMS says all personnel that Wake County has assigned to the parade tomorrow are additional staff dedicated specifically to the event, and say they are not pulling from regular on-duty crews.
We will have several ambulances, several teams on foot, teams on golf carts, and we'll also have our multiple patient bus staged out there as well tomorrow.
Wake County EMS says it is not bringing in help from neighboring counties either for tomorrow's parade. Officials say that is because they tell us they were able to fully cover the event using Wake County EMS additional personnel along with Raleigh Fire Department resources. Now, you heard Carter mention that multiple patient bus. That is essentially a large-scale EMS vehicle that is capable of caring for multiple people at one time. So if you or someone you know is out here Saturday and needs that extra medical attention, you can find it here on Fayetteville Street. For now, reporting live in downtown Raleigh, Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Reassuring to know. Grace, thank you so much. We're also getting a look at security plans for the big parade.
Yeah, hundreds of police officers. They are going to be there along the parade route, making sure they're patrolling and keeping things safe, including during the fan rally. Mobile barriers and road closure signs will be in place along the route. County, state, and federal agencies will all work together on this. They say it's kind of similar to what they do with the state fair. The city and the NHL, they are asking you to stay behind barriers. Keep a safe distance from floats and vehicles. Know where first aid stations are and how to exit the crowd. It's also a good idea to have a backup plan to meet up with your group, since at a large event, cell phone service can be kind of spotty.
And while many are preparing for the parade itself, businesses along the route are taking advantage of what will be one of the busiest days of the year. They definitely want to capitalize on this. Raleigh economy officials say the Canes Historic Run is shining a light on just how impactful investments into entertainment can be. Unlike planned yearly events, businesses have had to prepare for the crowds in just under a week. Sir Walter's Coffee is one of the only, if not the only, business that has 2 locations along the parade route. They tell us they are stocking up on product big time for tomorrow.
We've had a lot of groups already telling us that they're going to be coming in force, eating, gearing up, waiting for the parade to get to them. I hope we're ready. We're getting there.
And Caniacs are going to be hungry. Sir Walter Coffee says they're expecting to sell thousands of specialty Canes drinks this weekend.
And Renee, fans are excited to get their Canes championship gear, right? What you're seeing here is new video from outside Lenovo Center. It's showing a long line of people waiting for the Carolina Pro Shop to open. The store is open from 10 to 5 on weekdays and 11 to 4 tomorrow.
And tomorrow will be the perfect day to wear all that new championship gear. The Stanley Cup is logging some miles before the parade. Canes players went golfing at Contentment Golf Club in Western North Carolina along with the cup. And that is about 2.5 hours west of Raleigh. MVP Jordan Stahl was named an honorary member of the club. Now, the cup has been popping up mostly in Raleigh ever since the Canes' big win, including Glenwood South and North Hills. Count on WRAL for live team coverage of the big Canes parade tomorrow. We will have more than a dozen crews in downtown Raleigh, so you can see every angle of the celebrations. Our coverage starts at 10:30 a.m. with the parade kicking off at 11. We will carry the entire event live, including the fan rally in City Plaza. You can watch WRAL on air and online.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, the Hope County Sheriff's Office is reporting the kidnapping of an elderly woman by a relative. Take a look at your screen. This is the woman we're talking about. The Sheriff's Office is now asking for help in locating Miss Catherine Peterkin after getting a report of a kidnapping in the 100 block of Claris Place. Miss Peterkin was last seen in a white 2021 Jeep Cherokee registered to Mary Chandler. Now, the Sheriff's Office says Miss Peterkin's guardian gave a family member permission to take Miss Peterkin to run an errand, but neither of them returned, and it's been close to 24 hours now. We're trying to find out if that relative was Mary Chandler. Now, if you have any information about where Miss Peterkin could be, you're asked to call the Hope County Sheriff's Office.
A person was sent to the hospital because of an overnight shooting in Raleigh, and this is video from that scene on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh around midnight. This happened near Cavalry Drive and North New Hope Road. Police say the victim is expected to live, but no word on a possible suspect. However, police say they don't believe there is a threat to the public.
North Carolina Democrats are pushing for stronger support and more resources for autism therapy, backing parents and providers as demand grows ahead of budget talks. Today, Democratic lawmakers met with parents of children with autism and providers in Chapel Hill who stress the need to protect access to autism therapy called applied behavioral analysis. Republicans have made ABA a focal point of their fight against Medicaid fraud, pointing to state data showing ABA spending has grown more than fourfold in 3 years, topping $500 million annually. State health officials say they are working to weed out bad actors and to recover improper payments. Democrats warn against policies that could limit access to care.
Extremely important that we're very judicious with our dollars and our resources to make sure that the people that need these services are getting them.
Keeping it there. Yes, there were some bad actors who abused the system, but to say that it was fraudulent or wasteful is a step too far. And
Republican State Senator Benton Sari has another bill that he says will take another step to fight fraud. It would allow existing ABA companies to keep operating, but would block new ones.
Well, there are many celebrations happening today to mark Juneteenth. Juneteenth, if you didn't know, was the day enslaved people in Texas were officially freed, June 19th, 1865. That was actually more than 2 years after the issuing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Texas was the only state left not fully compliant with that order.
Tomorrow, people are expected to gather at Dix Park for the capital city Juneteenth celebration. People can bring lawn chairs and blankets and enjoy an afternoon of entertainment, food, and kids' activities. The city of Raleigh is expecting anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 people to attend.
I think having cultural events at Dix Park that really speak to our community, bring us together where we can learn from each other, learn about our history, learn about our present culture. I think it's just something that's really significant and something that the city thinks is important.
The celebration starts at 2 p.m. and lasts until 6. Ken Smith will MC the event. WRAL is the official media partner of the Capital City Juneteenth celebration.
Now, before this weekend celebration, Zebulon is hosting a Juneteenth art walk. The walk will be in downtown Zebulon, and that is where local businesses will display work from almost a dozen different artists. This event runs from 7 to 9 p.m. Next at noon, changing peace plans. Why the vice president is postponing his trip overseas to finalize a commitment to end the war with Iran.
Preparing for pro baseball, the conversations happening to possibly lay the groundwork for Major League Baseball in the Triangle.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
We are following the latest as negotiation plans change in the war on Iran. Vice President J.D. Vance postpones his trip to continue peace talks in Switzerland. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez explains.
Overnight, Vice President Vance scrapping plans to travel to Switzerland to meet with Iranian negotiators for the next round of peace talks. The abrupt cancellation coming after President Trump signed a preliminary deal that could end the war. The White House saying logistics of these negotiations have never been simple or predictable.
The president's peace plan in Iran is already bearing real fruits for the American people.
Just hours earlier, the vice president touting falling gas prices that rose dramatically after the president started the war, also forcefully pushing back on critics of the agreement, including those in Israel.
Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the president of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in.
The memorandum of understanding would allow Iran to start selling oil again, potentially get billions of dollars in unfrozen assets down the line, and eventually have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund created by Iran's neighbors.
The only way that they would ever get any benefit of the bargain is if they comply fully and change their behavior.
Still, unfreezing Iranian funds is something President Trump had previously slammed the Obama administration for doing. Back in April, he posted that under a new deal, no money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. Now,
it's not our money, it's their money, and we froze it. At a certain point in time, I guess we're going to have to give it back.
The agreement sparking backlash, even from some Republicans.
It's certainly not what we had hoped for going in.
If we give billions of dollars to Iran, that money will be used to murder Americans.
Still, the president, in a new interview with Axios, was asked what he learned about the limits of his power during the Iran conflict.
There are no limits. No, not. I haven't learned that lesson yet. I know there are, but, there are no limits. We defeated them totally militarily.
And that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting. Under the U.S.-Iran agreement, the Strait of Hormuz is open, and that is providing relief to markets. Right now, the national average for gas down to $3.97 this morning, under the $4 mark. That's the lowest it's been in almost 3 months. In Raleigh, the average now 359, and in Durham and Chapel Hill, it's 375. To find the best prices near you, go to WRAL.com and search Fuel Tracker.
Well, we finally had steady rainfall this morning, and much of our area needed this. Meteorologist Grant Skinner has a look at how a combination of two systems brought in the early downpours.
A couple of systems helped to bring some beneficial rain today, one being the remnants of Arthur, which was a tropical storm briefly offshore. It gradually worked inland and weakened, and then also a cold front that gradually worked its way south and east. As those kind of combined together today, we had a good chance for showers and storms earlier today. That rain chance does taper off, though, as the front gradually works south and east, and that pushes everything out of the area and drier air works its way in. You can also see with the storm reports the two different systems, the area of low pressure that worked north and east, closer to the Gulf Coast, up towards Georgia and South Carolina as well. And then the cold front that brought many reports, including tornadoes, hail, and damaging wind gusts as well, all the way from the upper Midwest through the Ohio Valley over the past couple of days. And the rainfall paints a similar picture. You can see the front bringing the heavy rainfall through Illinois, all the way through Kentucky, parts of Virginia, while the area of low pressure brought some pretty significant rainfall to parts of the Gulf Coast. You can see some of these totals when we zoom in and look at areas like Mobile, Alabama, over to northwest Florida, New Orleans, central Louisiana, 18 plus inches for some of those areas. So some pretty significant flooding concerns there, and still a threat for flooding over parts of the central Gulf Coast through the rest of the day today. Forecast rainfall for the next 7 days for us after some beneficial rain this morning. Still another 1.5 to 2 inches. That'd be very beneficial for us. We need all the rain that we can get to help our drought conditions.
We certainly do. And the thing is, yes, we received rain in the morning, but things are starting to dry out this afternoon. Amy, we know right now it's moving out, and it's really setting the stage for a beautiful day for a nice celebration tomorrow.
It is, yeah. We've got this northerly breeze, too, and that's going to bring in some more comfortable air throughout the day today. So, yeah, great weather for the parade tomorrow, and pretty nice weather for Father's Day, although it is going to be hotter with highs back in the mid-90s. But it was just so nice to see that widespread soaking rain this morning. Everyone had a good soaking rain. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh. This place is going to be crazy tomorrow with the parade, but at least the weather is cooperating. It's 78 right now in Raleigh. The dew point is 71, so the dew points are still high. It still feels very humid outside, but up to the north, dew points have dropped down into the 50s, and some of this dry air is going to start to move in this evening, and it will be with us through the day tomorrow as well. For the rest of the day today, it is warm and dry, but still pretty humid throughout the afternoon. We'll start to feel that dew point come down later on this evening. We should have a high temperature around 88 degrees. So with the clouds around and the rain this morning, that's keeping the temperature down today. A look at the rainfall for the rest of the day.
Five on Your Side is monitoring your business news on this holiday weekend. Maribel Aber tells us what to look out for next week from the NASDAQ market site in New York.
The stock market is closed in observance of Juneteenth. The holiday commemorates June 19, 1865, when news of the Emancipation Proclamation finally reached those still enslaved in Texas, more than 2 years after it was signed. Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 2021. Most banks and government offices are closed. There's no U.S. Postal Service delivery, but FedEx and UPS are still operating. Retailers, grocery stores, and restaurants are generally open, but it's always a good idea to call ahead. The next week brings a wave of economic data. New home sales are due Wednesday. May's personal spending report is expected Thursday, along with revised first quarter GDP. This month's final consumer sentiment reading comes on Friday. I'm Maribel Aber at the NASDAQ market site in New York.
So if you go to a national park this Juneteenth, make sure you have your wallet handy. That's because today is no longer one of the National Park Service's free entry days. You see, last December, the Park Service announced that it was taking Juneteenth and MLK Jr. Day off the list of free entry dates. This happened because of an executive order from President Donald Trump that made changes to the parks.
Only on WRAL, North Carolina lawmakers are weighing whether to reserve hundreds of millions of dollars for Major League Baseball. People familiar with the talks tell our NC Capitol team the funds would be designated for a stadium project that could support a bid for a big league club. They say the proposal could change or fall apart as budget negotiations continue. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred wants to select 2 new cities for expansion by 2029. Several billionaires have said they would like to bring a team to Raleigh.
The Obama Presidential Center in Chicago is opening its doors to the public today. And the former president and first lady hosted a star-studded dedication ceremony yesterday. We're talking about Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, Bruce Springsteen, and Stevie Wonder, and many other people. There are also several powerful speakers to inspire the crowd. Both Barack and Michelle Obama share the overall message from the former president's first campaign: hope.
But out of the fire and steel of a revolution, a different story took flight on this continent. A declaration that we are all created equal.
The Obama Presidential Center was created as a beacon of hope, a monument to our unshakable values, the ones my husband has exemplified his entire life: equality, empathy, honesty, inclusion, fairness.
Their speeches combined brought the crowd and even the former presidents to tear at times. The project has been 10 years in the making, and the center includes a museum, yes, but it also has a library, a basketball court, a garden, and so much more. Ahead at 12:30, a rock ruling. There is a Charlotte High School Spirit Rock that was the center of a federal lawsuit. The message from a student now costing the school system almost $100,000.
Plus, up in smoke. Legal cannabis will soon be a short trip over the Virginia border. What state leaders had to say about the potential for revenue loss in North Carolina.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
I will never tire of saying this. The Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade. It is tomorrow. We're talking tens of thousands of people expected to be in Raleigh for that massive celebration.
And it'll be the last day to say it. That is tomorrow. Oh. Here's a look at the route for tomorrow's Championship Parade. It will go down Hillsborough Street, swing by the state capitol, and then go down Fayetteville Street. The parade ends at Davie Street, and then a fan rally will happen after the parade in City Plaza.
So you should start planning on how you're going to get there, even if you haven't already. And WRAL's Monica Casey shares exactly how you can do that, plus what the city recommends.
Some downtown roads will be closed as of 3:30 in the morning tomorrow. So the city of Raleigh is reminding you to plan ahead and think about other options to get here rather than driving your car. One of those might be taking a Go Raleigh bus, or maybe a bike or a scooter is an option for you. You should be aware the city is adding geofencing, or a no-ride zone around the parade route, which means you can only get so close on those rental e-bikes and scooters. If you do drive, the city is offering free parking for fans at 5 city decks.
We're highly encouraging folks to either carpool, take public transit. It's going to be a lot of folks in the area, and folks just need to think about not only enjoying themselves at the event, but trying to make it easy on themselves getting into the event as well.
The parade begins at the intersection of Hillsborough and St. Mary's Streets, travels toward the state capitol building, and then ends at Davie Street for a fan rally. We have a full breakdown of the parade route, along with where those free parking decks are, over on our website. Reporting in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Count on WRAL for live team coverage of the Big Canes Parade tomorrow. We'll have more than a dozen crews in downtown Raleigh so that you can see every angle of the celebrations. Our coverage starts at 10:30 in the morning with the parade kicking off at 11. We will carry the entire event live, including a fan rally in City Plaza. You can watch WRAL on air and online.
Well, there is a developing story in eastern North Carolina, as today the Lenoir County Sheriff's Office will hold a news conference about the beating of a teenager that was recorded on video. 2 men and a teenager are now facing charges from this. And we're not going to show you that video, but this is a look at an image that was taken from it. Ashton Clark and Landon Harris have been charged since this was all placed online. Clark is charged with felony assault by strangulation and conspiracy. Harris has been charged with cyberbullying and conspiracy, and then deputies have not identified the teenager who was attacked or provided an update on their condition in this.
The Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District will have to pay almost $100,000 in a lawsuit over a Charlie Kirk comment on a school spirit rock. It happened at Ardrey Kell High School. Students painted "Live Like Kirk," then "Freedom 1776" on the rock. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools originally said this was done without permission and was considered vandalism. One of the students' parents filed the lawsuit claiming the district violated their daughter's constitutional rights.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we got a major announcement from Attorney General Jeff Jackson. He just posted this message to social media saying that his office has won an emergency motion to freeze the TV merger between Nexstar and Tegna. Nexstar had a plan to acquire Tegna, which would combine two of the nation's largest TV station ownership groups. North Carolina was among several attorneys general from at least 8 states filing a lawsuit to block that merger. Now, in this social media post, Attorney General Jackson says this is bigger than the Ticketmaster case. He says this is about how you watch television, impacting more than 80% of television households across America. Of course, we will be following any new developments in this case very closely.
Well, and he was arguing that Nexstar, they went to the judge and said, Nexstar is trying to get around what you had put in place for the judge, and the judge agreed. Okay, thanks, Ken. Well, Virginia's governor is announcing that she has reached a deal with lawmakers to establish a cannabis marketplace in the Commonwealth. Well, we wondered how it would affect the conversation right here in our state. The compromise reached in Virginia would issue licenses to up to 350 businesses across the state to sell cannabis, adding 6% on top of existing sales tax to each sale. Buying or possessing cannabis in North Carolina, it is illegal. And Governor Josh Stein tasked a cannabis advisory council to instruct lawmakers on the best course of action to regulate legal sales in the state. Now, while the opinions in the General Assembly differ widely on what North Carolina should do on the issue, one lawmaker is concerned that revenue will go over the border.
And so those estimations are, probably 10% of folks. And of course, people travel across North Carolina, across borders. And so we can anticipate that on a regular basis.
North Carolina lawmakers are miles away from marijuana, it turns out. They're still discussing how to even regulate the buying and the selling of both kratom and hemp-deprived products like gummies and drinks. The Senate bill, now in committee, would fine businesses who sell to anyone underage.
Still ahead at noon, honoring Kyle Busch, how lawmakers on Capitol Hill paid tribute to the late NASCAR driver's legacy. And go Team USA, where you can watch with other World Cup fans in the Triangle when the U.S. takes the field. A North Carolina Marine was one of 3 service members to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor at the White House. Retired Major James Capers Jr. is a Vietnam War veteran. His heroic actions in Vietnam have earned him 3 Purple Hearts, the Silver Star, and 2 Bronze Stars, and now the Medal of Honor. He was also a trailblazer in his military career. Capers was the first black officer in Marine Special Operations and the first enlisted African-American to lead a Marine reconnaissance company. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are honoring the life of NASCAR driver Kyle Busch. The U.S. Senate passed a bipartisan resolution recognizing his racing career that spanned 25 years and his role as a father. Busch died last month. He had severe pneumonia that progressed into sepsis. He was just 41 years old.
Well, Team USA is back in action today at the FIFA World Cup, and there are plenty of watch parties happening in the Triangle. The Rialto Theater was loud during the Canes championship run, and it will be the same way today as the U.S. takes on Australia. The theater wants fans to wear denim, turning back the clock all the way back to the last time the U.S. hosted the World Cup in 1994. Doors open at 2 ahead of kickoff at 3. Admission is free, but you do have to RSVP. Now, if you can't make it to a watch party, you can catch the game on Fox 50. After that, you can catch Scotland against Morocco at 6. Then at 8:30, it's going to be Brazil against Haiti.
Changes are coming to the town of Apex's old-fashioned 4th of July celebration. It won't run on Salem Street this year because of construction downtown. The Parade of Wheels and Apex Fire Department Splashdown are moving to the Fireworks Frenzy celebration on July 3rd.
Also ahead, no burn ban. We've talked a lot about brush fires lately in our area and the ongoing drought. Ahead, why this has not led the Forest Service to bring back fire restrictions. Getting you a look outside right now at Chapel Hill. Looks like, again, the rain is moving out of our area, which is nice, setting the stage for a beautiful day that we're going to have tomorrow during the Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade. Okay, so Father's Day, it is on Sunday, but instead of giving a #1 dad mug to your dad this year, maybe there's a better way to show your appreciation. While some dads say that being left alone to their hobbies on Father's Day, research actually shows that the opposite is true. One psychology professor says that her research found fathers want family time and enjoying activities with their kids. While mom is usually known as the more, quote, affectionate parent, studies show that getting affection from both parents can help regulate a child's nervous system.
I think a lot of dads don't realize that, if their kids aren't getting hugs from them, the kids are missing out on that affection. And the dads are also not getting those hugs from kids. And so, we encourage dads to, let go of any society norms about being tough and really be vulnerable and show that affectionate side with kids.
Look, I hug my son every day. I tell my son I love him every day, too. So all you dads out there, make sure you're doing the same. And so before you get started with your Father's Day activities, think about starting the day maybe with, yes, a hug.
Heels are 2 wins away from its first men's College World Series title in program history. They face the Oklahoma Sooners in Omaha this weekend. These two teams faced each other in the postseason last year, and the Tar Heels won. Oklahoma has hit close to 100 home runs in the last month. But look, the Tar Heels can score as well, averaging about 8 runs per game, and that ranks 6th in the country. Game 1 is Saturday at 8 p.m. Game 2 will be Sunday afternoon at 2:30. And if a Game 3 is needed, it would be Monday night at 7.
All right, so roads are back open this morning after a wildfire on Fort Bragg. I want to show you some photos from one of our viewers. You see this, how thick the smoke is? Well, parts of NC 690 were closed because of the smoke from the wildfire, and this actually isn't too far from the Moore-Cumberland County line. We are still working to learn how big exactly the wildfire was at one point. And in the past couple weeks, we have talked a lot about brush fires in our area. And so we asked the State Forest Service why the burn ban is not back in place. Well, rangers told us that the high humidity, that's a big factor here. We're seeing dew on the ground in the overnight and morning hours, and they say the grass and the trees are green. That means they're more fire resistant. And if things started drying out and turning brown, well, that'd kind of be a different story, Renee.
We got some good beneficial rain. That was the kind of rain that we wanted to see this morning,
yes,
Amy.
That nice steady rain, widespread. It was great.
So needed.
To see. Yeah, and then it's gone for the weekend. So it was some good timing as well. So for the rest of the day today, it's warm, mainly dry, just a 20% chance of a stray shower today. Temperatures will stay in the 80s this afternoon. So another benefit from the rain and the clouds, we're not getting as hot today. Low humidity, warm and dry conditions for the Canes Parade tomorrow. Beautiful weather for that huge event that's going to happen in downtown Raleigh. 9 a.m. temperatures will be in the mid-70s with partly cloudy skies, and then mostly sunny by 11 a.m., 83 the temperature, and then by 1 o'clock, mostly sunny with a temperature of 87. This is a live look at Fenton and Cary. Still a little gray here, but we don't have any rain on the radar. We might see an isolated shower, mainly in southern counties later this evening, but I think for the most part, we're done with the rain for today. Temperatures are in the 80s and 70s right now. 75 in Garner, 79 in Roxborough, 81 in Cary, and 82 in Fayetteville. Compared to this time yesterday, we're anywhere from 8 to 13 degrees cooler right now compared to yesterday. So it feels a bit better out there. It's still a little humid, but the humidity will drop as we head into the second half of the day. Our high this afternoon up to about 88, and then temperatures are back in the upper 70s around 10 o'clock this evening. And I do think the humidity is going to drop a little bit later this evening, and that will be the case for tomorrow as well. Mostly sunny on Saturday. We'll have a high temperature of 90, and then we're heating it back up on Sunday for Father's Day. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Our high temperature gets up to 95 Sunday afternoon. If you're headed to the coast this weekend, the weather's looking really good. No rain in the forecast tomorrow. Temperatures will range from the low 80s to low 90s, just depending on which beach you're going to. And then looking ahead to Sunday, maybe you want to make a day trip out of it for Dad's Day. Weather looks great. No rain in the forecast with temperatures ranging from the mid 80s to low 90s across the North Carolina coast. So some good beach weather, but keep in mind the rip current risk will be either moderate or high along most of our beaches. So just be very, very careful if you're headed out in the water. Rain chances, just a 20% chance for the rest of the day today. We're dry Saturday and Sunday, but it's nice to see a 40% chance on Monday and a 40% chance on Thursday as well. So we do have some additional rain chances, which is good. We still need a lot of rain. We are slightly in the above normal category for rain, June 27th through July 3rd, so leading up to July 4th, which is good. We've had 8 3/4 of an inch so far out at RDU this year. We're still over 10.5 inches below normal. We need about 15 inches within 1 month to get out of the drought. So
Pretty puffy clouds over the DBAP. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today.
All right, so we are less than 24 hours away from the big Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade. Around 100,000 fans are expected to fill the streets of downtown Raleigh, and Wake County EMS is working with the city to keep people safe while they celebrate. One of the biggest priorities is making sure this event does not affect emergency response across the rest of the county. Hundreds of police officers will be patrolling downtown during the parade and the fan rally. You can count on WRAL for live team coverage starting at 10:30.
Let's have a great time tomorrow. I know Chris and I are looking forward to it.
Yep.
The Hope County Sheriff's Office is investigating the kidnapping of an elderly woman by a relative. Deputies need your help locating 93-year-old Catherine Peterkin. Ms. Peterkin was last seen in a white 2021 Jeep Cherokee registered to a Mary Chandler. The Sheriff's Office says her guardian gave a family member permission to take her to run an errand, but neither of them returned, and it's been close to 24 hours now. So if you have any information about where Ms. Peterkin might be, if you see her, please call the Sheriff's Office.
Well, there are so many celebrations happening today to mark Juneteenth. The holiday was the day that enslaved people in Texas were officially freed, June 19th, 1865. And tomorrow people are expected to gather at Dix Park for the Capital City Juneteenth celebration. The city of Raleigh is expecting anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 people to attend that. The celebration starts at 2 and it lasts until 6. And Ken Smith will be emceeing that event. WRAL is the official media partner.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we're just getting word from the Apex Fire Department about a crash in that community at the intersection of Horton Ridge Boulevard and Grand Pass Station. The crash happened just before midnight last night. It involved only one vehicle. We're working to get the identity of the person who died and how that crash happened. Of course, this incident remains under investigation.
Tens of thousands of people will be at tomorrow's championship parade, including this couple who wanted to be there so badly they postponed their wedding by 5 hours. It's supposed to be Saturday. This is Angela Howard and Henry Hegler, and the Hurricanes mean a lot to both of them. Their first date was on October 28, 2025 at a Canes game. 8 months later, they're engaged and celebrating Carolina's first Stanley Cup in 20 years. So their wedding is Saturday. They say postponing their ceremony by several hours was a no-brainer, and that tomorrow will be a full circle moment.
Both of our parents actually work in Lenovo, so when we were inside Lenovo watching Game 6 watch party, they texted us saying, hey, if we win tonight, the parade's going to be on Saturday, and we looked at each other like, we need to change the time of our wedding or we're not going to be able to go.
Hockey's kind of been like a core point of our relationship, just like something we've always done together. There's not really a reason that we wouldn't want to spend our special day out here with the team that we both love.
It will be an unforgettable day for two major reasons. Howard was at the Canes' first Stanley Cup parade back in 2006. Now she will get to share the experience with her husband-to-be tomorrow.
Yay for them. Okay, so time now for a look at our pets of the day, plural. We're talking about two sweet guinea pigs, Venus and Celeste. The 3- and 4-year-old bonded pair are friendly and love to be held.
Aww.
Venus and Celeste love to run around and play together, and their adoption fee is $40. And for more information about adopting these two, you can reach out to the SBCA of Wake County.
They are too adorable. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can always get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. And of course, stick with WRAL tomorrow because we are going to be broadcasting the Carolina Hurricanes Championship Parade. It's going to be a fun time. We got our pre-show starting at 10:30, and of course, the actual parade gets underway at 11 o'clock.
Be safe, everybody. Have a great time downtown. Go Canes.